Hello, welcome to the very first podcast for EverythingBS.com. We are here with five wrestling experts and myself, who's also a wrestling expert. We are going to today be discussing the Royal Rumble 2015. To my left, I have my good friend and neighbor, Douglas Campbell.
Hello.
Next to Doug is another great friend of mine, Jack LaMedico.
What's up?
Stephen Quintanilla. Whoop, whoop. Another good friend of ours, Joshua James Dotson Collins.
What's good?
And Brandon Gonzalez, my partner on the site.
Giggity.
And I'm Stephen Lyo. So first, we'll just go around the room and talk, get our predictions, what we think is going to happen, talk about some old Rumble moments. First of all, we'll start with Josh. Who do you want to win the Royal Rumble?
Dolph Ziggler or no one?
Dolph Ziggler or no one? Good pick. Brandon?
I'm going to say Dolph Ziggler, or if it can't be Ziggler, Randy Orton returns at number 30 and wins and faces Brock Lesnar.
Okay. I would like for The Undertaker to win the Royal Rumble and fight Lesnar at WrestleMania again. Doug?
I'm going to have to go with Roman Reigns. I think it's his time.
I'm going with the same comment Brandon went with. I agree with him.
Great minds.
I'm going to go Dolph Ziggler or Dean Ambrose. Reigns ain't ready.
Oh, that's right. Agreed.
Go back the Reigns.
All right, so now we're gonna get into some spots here. Let's talk about the other matches. Here's what I want to. I'm gonna go ahead and skip to this one. The who's gonna win the world title? We've got Cena, Rollins, and Lesnar. Doug?
I think when the match is over, either Rollins will have won it or he'll cash in his Money in the Bank contract and win it after that.
What about Jack?
I'm going with Cena, but Rollins is going to try to cash in with an interruption from Sting, which will set up the Triple H Sting match for WrestleMania.
All right, interesting. Steven?
I'm going to go with Brock.
I'm going to have to piggyback off of what Steven said. They put so much stock into Brock Lesnar, take it all the way to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You paid the guy enough money.
Right. I agree.
I think that Cena is not going to walk out with the belt. I think there's only two scenarios. Either, I think that what's going to actually happen is I think that somehow something's going to happen. Cena's going to win the belt, and then Rollins cashes in. And I think Brock is going to be so furious that he's going to interfere in the Royal Rumble and eliminate Daniel Bryan, which will set them up for at WrestleMania. It won't be a title match, obviously. I think that's the only way you can eliminate Daniel Bryan without all the fanboys causing a riot. Because so many people have to have him win. Like even Mick Foley commented saying that I hope they do the right thing and give it to Daniel Bryan. I think his moment was last year. It's not his moment this year. It's someone else's moment.
Agreed.
Well, when he brought up Sting, I started thinking, what if it came down to Daniel Bryan in the Rumble and some Authority members with the Authority interfering, trying to get Bryan out of the Rumble, and then Sting interferes to take out the Authority and helps Bryan win the Rumble.
Here's the thing. How are we going to have
Bryan going to the Rumble?
My question is, how are we going to have Daniel Bryan be eliminated from the Rumble without people getting so mad? I think the best way to do it is to have the ultimate heel, Brock Lesnar, interfere because he's pissed that he didn't even get pinned to lose that belt. He's just furious. He's mad at the world. He runs in, throws everyone out, and throws out Daniel Bryan, setting up for one match at WrestleMania, and then Brock leaves and goes to MMA or whatever.
We're going to have one match at WrestleMania.
one good one.
The Iron Man 3-hour match. I think Lesnar is going to win the title, and it's they're going to do a David and Goliath with either Ziggler or Bryan. I hope it's not Roman Reigns.
What do you think about the briefcase? Do you think he'll cash in?
I think he'll try. I don't think he'll win
The
it.
belt won't ring or something?
Listen, I'm all for Bryan having his moment, but if he faces Brock, he's going to spend another year on the outside.
Right.
I'm telling you right now.
Well, he's not facing Mark Henry. He's,
I think I'm going to agree with what Brandon said. I think Daniel Bryan had his moment last year.
Yeah.
I frankly don't want to see him win it again. I think they've done enough
win the
with
title.
the smaller guys, and I don't mean that as a slight. The smaller guys winning, I think it's time to put it back on some guy that looks like a tank or they're somewhere close to it.
Yeah,
Bob's a tank.
Yeah, but he
He's held the title
But
for.
So give it to Ryback is also what you're
But he's
saying.
had it for how long? He's defended it once. I mean,
Right.
I'm quite frankly don't like seeing a belt on him. He hasn't been here enough.
what about like the Big Show? You want a tank?
No,
I'm just playing. I'm just
That's
kidding.
flab.
I love the Big Show.
I love Bryan, but I feel as though if you're putting the belt back on Bryan, you're going to build another Cena. And I know people are like, what were you talking about? Bryan's going to get to a point where he never loses. And if he
Right,
loses,
yeah.
it's always going to be dirty.
Right.
Keep him as the guy who's not constantly winning. Make him the underdog.
Or if someone does beat him, he gets to face that guy again and then end on top, like Cena did with The Rock and all these
that's fine.
other people. That's why I'm so worried that they're going to let Cena beat Lesnar just so that Cena could always be on top at the end of the day.
The only way I'd be okay with that is if Cena hands off the title at WrestleMania. And it
a
means
handoff is
something.
always
You
great.
have to understand, Cena's the cash cow.
Yep.
He is the golden boy.
But he's aging.
He is. It doesn't matter. He is the current Hulk Hogan.
Have you seen that bald spot
of
that's
just
coming in?
He's the current Hulk Hogan of this generation.
I will agree to that, yes.
You cannot take, and people, as much as some hate him, more love him.
But by comparing him to Hulk
Everyone loved
Hogan,
Hogan.
now let's think about this. By comparing him to Hulk Hogan, once you start reaching that point where you can't go up any higher, that's when you make the ultimate heel turn, and you'll reach new grounds that you've never
And
reached before. I think he will be the
Cena-
greatest heel ever, and people will finally actually cheer for him. And
It has
because
been
they'll
brought
love him
up
as a heel.
several times that they've wanted.
Eventually,
Yeah.
it will happen.
Yeah.
But right now,
right now-
with the kid fan base he has,
They have a lot to lose if he turns heel.
Yeah.
The difference here is that Hogan was never a heel until WCW when he joined NWO. Cena's been a heel, and he was a god awful heel.
Really, it comes down to this. Cena is never going to be turned heel as long as his Make-A-Wish stuff is off the charts the way it is now. The man has done close to
We need to find a
600
Make-A-Wish kid that wants him as a heel.
It's almost like an anti-hero,
That's what it
not a
is.
heel.
That's he.
I mean,
like
he
Jack
was a
said,
heel
not only is
turn,
he their biggest cash
Yeah.
cow, but every sick kid out there, not every sick kid, but 3/4 of the sick children in America want John Cena as their Make-A-Wish.
Yeah.
And
He's
he's
granted like
he
500
doesn't
of
say
them.
no.
Yeah.
So as long as that is the case, if they turn
Yeah, he's
him
a hard
heel,
worker then.
Yes.
If they
He's
turn
still
him
on
heel,
TV.
there's going to be the revolt like you've never seen.
Well, here's the
Never
thing. If
Even though
you're going to
reporter
turn-
requested China.
if you're going to turn Cena heel or have someone else take that spot, you have to be able to fill that void. Cena has left.
No
so-
one's there yet.
There's no one there to
Exactly.
fill that void.
Well, Daniel Bryan or maybe Ziggler could.
I love Daniel Bryan.
But yes,
But
he's been hurt
man
too much.
he can't cut a promo.
Brock Lesnar.
Ziggler can do some work on his promos too.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar, they have to have Paul Heyman speak
And
for
it's
him.
fine.
Does
But
anybody
he has the voice of an angel. Have you heard it?
Brock Lesnar was a waste of money.
It's a waste of money.
I wouldn't say that. I'd say Brock Lesnar was a great investment, but they didn't run with it. Or I don't know if it's.
I think
contract
he's
said-
a great heel. I don't think
Yeah,
he's ever
few
needed to change that.
appearances,
He
maybe.
could have.
He's a draw. It's like having Andre the Giant or something. You're coming to watch this
Yeah.
animal, this creature.
I feel as though he should have ran every pay-per-view ever since winning that belt.
But he hasn't. He's
But he
done
hasn't.
one.
Exactly.
Well, I think it's time to get back on subject.
All right, let's get back to our. Did anyone else want to chime in? Anything else on that? But Okay, let's discuss the other matches. There's really nothing we care about. I don't think. Ascension and New Age Outlaws. Anybody?
I
care?
think. Well, I'm going to say this. The Ascension, I think they don't want to make them look bad anymore because here's the problem: you're not going to make money off them. I think what they have to do is they have to put on a squash match. They have to injure the New Age Outlaws. Like if the New Age Outlaws get taken out on stretchers, now all of a sudden the Ascension will be like, okay, kind of that was
These
fucking
guys are
awesome.
real.
Well, here's the thing.
They're fighting somebody.
I want them to do well. Growing up, the tag team division was always one of my favorites. Like,
Yeah.
I missed the tag team specialists. It was like the Road Warriors. They didn't care about the other belts. They wanted those tag belts. That's what they did.
Yeah.
We're in an age now where it's like, okay, these guys have nothing to do.
Like the
You're now tag
Matadors.
teams.
Why is that a tag team?
All right, but
See, that's
Cesaro
I'm
and Tyson
okay with
Kidd
those
is
guys.
I like
Yeah.
Cesaro and Tyson Kidd,
I
but they're
like
making
them.
them job to New Day. Why?
See, here's the thing about the New Day. It's okay for the
No, it's
guys to
not.
be around. It's perfectly fine because they are a tag team. Like they took guys once again.
I like Biggie Langston and Kofi. I don't
Yeah,
care.
Big
for
E
the
had some
By
run,
by
a couple
himself,
years ago.
Big E has nothing to do, and he is a big.
But here's the
star.
thing:
I
I've
love the
seen
guy.
Cesaro. We saw Cesaro military press Big E,
Yeah.
and now Cesaro is jobbing to the man after he won the
Well,
Andre
Vince-
the Giant
Vince doesn't
trophy.
believe in Cesaro.
Well, Vince needs to step down. He
And
needs
then
to
poor
step back.
Cesaro, the day, the week after
Well,
McMahon had the
step down.
podcast, Cesaro goes in there trying to cut a promo talking about stepping through the 4 ropes.
Here's my 2 cents on the Ascension.
Okay.
I took a really good close look at them the other night, and I'm sorry. I don't mind them as wrestlers, but they need to change their outfits. They look
Yeah.
like the Road Warriors, and it's
Especially
insulting.
that like eye
It's
makeup and
insulting
stuff.
to me that they look like the Road Warriors.
Well, they're trying
There
to
was the Road
recreate-
Warriors, and there should never be another invitation.
Yeah.
Not Demolition, not the Ascension. They need to change their outfits because they look like them, and I was,
I'm okay with
Dungeon
them
of Doom?
dressing that way,
Yeah.
but they need not draw attention
that's another
to
company.
the fact that those comparisons
Well,
exist.
the problem with the Ascension is they're copycatting the Legion of Doom, and then they're saying they're better.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're saying we're not.
Don't even bring it up. Just go out there.
Not to invite comparison, but we're not the Legion of Doom.
But that should be the part of their theme music. You know, kind of like, you smell the rockets cooking.
We're not
Owen Hart.
Legion of
Yeah,
Doom.
we are not the Legion of Doom. We promise.
I am not a nugget.
All right, so let's get back to the questions here. Is there another match we missed? Favorite Royal Rumble slash Rumble moment. You can talk about the Rumble, any past Rumble you like, or any specific moment in a Rumble that you like. Let's start with Q.
I've got the 3 faces of Mick Foley, the year he came in as Mankind,
Cactus Jack and
Cactus
Dude Love.
Jack, and Dude Love.
Against Chainsaw Charlie, they started. That was awesome.
That was the 1998 Rumble.
I know he's never going to win, but the Kofi Kingston elimination save tactic, it's always awesome to watch.
It's okay. It's getting a little...
Are we just doing
I'm
moment? Or are we doing
disappointed the year he doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Are we doing just our favorite moment or favorite Rumble?
Either. You can...
Okay, I'm gonna do both. All right. My favorite Rumble, I think I'm gonna say 2000 because that was such an entertaining Rumble. That was the one where Rikishi and Too Cool started dancing in the ring, and then Rikishi threw them out. And my favorite part of it is when the Mean Street Posse tried to interfere in the match, and Pete Gas, bless his soul, tries to slide in the ring, and he's got his head up, and he gets caught on the bottom rope, and it hits his neck, and he starts like choking. And he gets in the ring, and he just cannot function.
It's APA.
He's clearly hurt. He's clearly hurt, and Bradshaw and Farouk just, they hurt the guy. They just throw him out the ring, and that's also the Rumble that Takamikanoku
Hit his head.
broke his collarbone, and King just kept going, show that again, ha ha ha, look at it, show it again, ha ha ha. Now, that's my favorite Rumble, but my favorite Royal Rumble moment spans 17 Royal Rumbles, has eliminated 39 contestants, and in one match eliminated 11, and that is Kane. Kane was built for the Royal Rumble. He is one of the most dominant forces in the Royal Rumble. He's the guy when you need crowd control, you just play that music, he comes out, eliminates everyone, then somehow X-Pac throws him out or something like that. Kane is awesome. I love all his moments in the Rumble. He even eliminated someone a year when he wasn't even in the Rumble. Didn't he eliminate CM Punk or something like that? Like he just drug him out.
What about Glenn? That was Glenn Jacobs.
Well, that's the same guy, same stat, corporate Kane eliminates someone without even being in the match. That's how awesome he is. All right.
I was going to say something. You were talking about that. Oh, he's actually been on, I think, 19 Rumbles, if you mean Glenn Jacobs. I'm going to say my favorite Rumble, of course, is 1992, Ric Flair. I know you hate that one, Doug. You can touch on that in a minute.
It's not fair to Flair.
It's not fair to Flair. Made that. Well, that and Flair just himself was fantastic. My favorite moment, I have to say, is Jerry the King Lawler. There's 2 moments with Lawler. One is when he gets up from the announce table and he goes, watch this, McMahon. It takes a king. And he steps in the ring. And Bret Hart hits him once, and he falls over the top rope, and he sits back down, and McMahon just goes, what were you saying? He goes, to know a king, it takes a king to know a king. The other one was in the 1996 Royal Rumble when he hid at the underneath the ring for...
After Jake the Snake put the snake on him.
When he hid under the ring, right, for most of the match after Jake Snake put the snake on him, Shawn Michaels pulled him out. Douglas.
My favorite one is an easy pick for me. Was the year, I don't remember which Rumble it was. It would be the year that Chris Benoit won.
2004.
Yeah,
that was
because
20.
He had been his whole career really hadn't received much of a push in that, as the world champion. So he wins it, and then he's sitting there, he's receiving all his accolades for winning the title, and then out comes Eddie Guerrero. And these two guys who had been up through the years together in ECW and WCW, they're both sitting there holding what it was sent at the time were world championship titles, and and it means a lot to me now since they both now are not here. So that was an easy pick for me, Chris Benoit.
Who did Eddie beat that
Was he-
night? I think
beat
it was
Brock Lesnar.
it was Brock after
Brock
Goldberg
Lesnar.
He
came
slipped
in.
out of his boot, didn't
Yes,
something.
he-
No, that was the
Goldberg helped him a little bit, but yeah, that was he helped him retain, I think.
By jackhammering Brock Lesnar.
Just a little.
But yeah, that was a good moment, and it was
Back to you,
number
my
1 in
friend.
that match. I remember that.
Okay, I'm gonna go 2006. Rey Mysterio enters the match at second and goes 62 minutes and 12 seconds. I like the little guy. I think he's a great performer, and to have him go number 2 spot to win the Rumble.
That was a great
I feel like
moment.
he knows him.
That's a good.
That was a great
Hey,
moment.
Ray just texted him. Ray's listening to us. Hey Jack, will you say me?
I like the style of wrestling. I like the whole Lucha Libre moves. And
you like
it
the
makes it
cruiserweight
exciting.
So were you an WCW fan?
I used to love WCW.
Alright.
And I think they should bring back the Cruiserweight division, did WWE. It's boring right now. You watch Monday Night Raw, and you're like, what's gonna happen?
I'm kind of tired of watching the Miz and Miz
It's the
Medusa.
same.
Oh my god.
They need to shorten Raw to 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So Doug, I'm gonna let you start because I know your answer already.
Well, you think you do, but
well,
I'm actually
okay.
gonna. I'm not a big fan of what they did
What
with
do you
Ric
think
Flair.
his answer is?
The 92 Rumble because he always.
No, I'm not a big fan of what they did with that. But
So my worst Rumbles and worst Rumble
my
moments. Go
least
ahead.
favorite Rumble was the one. I'm sorry, Jack. I did not like them having Rey Mysterio win.
That's okay.
The only reason they did it is because Eddie died. And if you go back and look after Ray wins, every time he had a match after that, he either was non-title and he was losing constantly. He did not look good as the
wasn't
heavyweight
Ray.
champion. It was Ray, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. They could have done something else to honor Eddie without doing that, and I didn't like it then, and I still don't like it. That's how. Anyway, that's mine.
No
don't
stuff
know.
that.
I really don't know my worst choice for a Royal Rumble.
You don't have to answer everyone. Anybody can say pass if they want.
I really don't have a thought on it.
I'll give you one.
Okay.
Roman Reigns breaks Kane's record.
Yeah. Agreed.
I disagree, even though here I am saying he doesn't deserve to win this Rumble and he's not ready.
Alright, well then what's your worst
Of
Rumble
course.
moment then?
And this is also kind of contradicting because didn't last year's come down to Batista and Roman Reigns?
Mhm.
I've got worst moment as Batista winning the 2014 Rumble. But I think now that the Shield, the Shield split up, you had time to see Roman Reigns in more matches on his own, and you see he needs more work. Whereas before he was kind of mixing in with the Shield in his matches and could just do his 3 or 4 moves, and it looked good when he's fighting with the rest of the Shield.
My least favorite moment was John Cena winning just for the sake of Rock and Cena too.
Yeah.
I like both the guys.
Is that why we won?
Once in a lifetime?
Yeah.
Psych.
They built it as once in a lifetime, and then it was like, oops, we're doing it again.
Once again.
Well, it follows traditional pattern. Rock beat him the first time.
And Cena has to end on top.
They could have left, and I'm not hating on Cena. I have nothing against Cena. I actually do like the guy. But they could have left him with you couldn't beat The Rock. That was perfectly fine. It was
They had to give Rock a huge payday to do that.
I used to be one of Cena's biggest
There's a
supporters.
reason behind
Now
that.
I'm like,
Wait,
it's
Doug,
not
wait,
for
Doug.
a guy.
There's a reason behind that. Think back to when Shawn Michaels turned on Hogan. You remember that? And then they had a match and Hogan won. There was supposed to be a return match where Hogan was supposed to lose to Michaels. They agreed upon it. Hogan backed out and said, "I'm not doing it."
Yeah, that
So
sounds like
when that same scenario comes up again, they made sure that all parties agreed what was going to happen when and what was going to happen after that because they didn't want to.
So you're saying that Cena agreed to lose?
Yes.
But
because he would win.
But
Yes.
Cena's building at the point where he's so high in the company. If he wants to go, I want to be number 1 contender. That's all he has to say. He doesn't
Yeah.
have to win a match.
He
doesn't
needs
have
to cut one
interfere.
promo where he goes,
Yeah.
I want to face at this
Yeah.
pay-per-view.
Like,
Like, you
remember-
can Adam Rose that shit and be like, hey! Survivor Series.
Brandon, you said it right. Adam Rose and shit in the same sentence.
No, remember, it was Survivor Series.
At
and
Survivor
it was
Series last year, Adam Rose became his own booker. He just walks up to who was it?
I think it was.
It was a tag team.
Let's have a match
I
next.
think it was. I think
It was Terry Crews, and
Titus O'Neil.
Gator, yeah.
Anyway, so Adam Rose walks up and just goes,
He's back.
"How about tonight, you and me, the bunny and me against y'all?" And they're like, "Fine." And it's like, "I didn't know you could just do that in the background. Walk around, make your own match on a paper."
On a sold-out Survivor Series where the Authority is and Sting's in the back. Like, Sting's walking around the background like, what?
Okay, you know what?
Going back to the Batista Royal Rumble, though, I think they shouldn't have brought him out as Batista. They should have brought him out as Drax the Destroyer. I think everybody would have went crazy.
Or Leviathan.
Who is that guy?
No, he came out as Leviathan.
I'm taking it old school.
It would have threw everybody off if he would have came out in
Yeah,
makeup and wrestled like that.
In defense of Batista, everyone that year had to deal with it. We all knew it was coming, and you guys were just mad.
Yeah, but the thing
Batista.
is that we all expected the Batista we had seen before. this was nowhere near the Batista we'd seen before.
Well,
That was the year that Ryback
He looked
botched
like
everything.
I'm sorry, he looked like
Even his
shit.
own elimination.
Well, I'm gonna say
Looked like
he,
shit.
he was dealing with ring rust, and then he also had the opposition of the Yes movement.
No, that was the Cena one. Because he like,
Anyone who
And then,
went over was going
then
to
they
be
did that
Everyone
thing,
was
right?
right.
They kept him around, right? Because that movie was coming out, and they
Yeah.
wanted him in a scene, and then they put him out there with Evolution against Shield.
Well,
and then
But that catapulted
and
Dave
they
Bryan.
paraded him out there in that god awful blue outfit he had on.
Batista-
Blue became trendy.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't usually
What, the
when
man
I'm
can't
watching wrestling,
experiment with
I wanted
colors?
to vomit when I saw that.
It brings out his eyes. Let him do it.
Well, Batista did an interview where he said because the wrestling fans cracked on him so much, he's going to do things to piss them off.
Well, that was.
I like Batista.
I support you,
playing
Batista.
with-
I'll you know, the other thing I would say that is if he come out with a blue meanie as his second.
Blue Meanies, his valet.
all right, Brandon, worst Rumble moment or worst Rumble?
Okay, I hate. Steven, what year is it? Which Rumble is it that Del Rio won?
11.
The 2011 Royal Rumble, because that was the one that had
Him and
40
Santino at the end.
men.
Right.
It's 40 men. You could give it to anyone. They chose to give it to Del Rio, but that's not the reason that I really hate it. I liked the start of that Rumble. CM Punk was in there, and he had the Nexus. He had these, what was it, 4 or 5 guys protecting him. And CM Punk started off the match, I think, as like number 1, 2, 3. He was one of the early ones in, and he was very beat up. But then he had his boys come in, and they kept protecting him. And then they owned the ring, and every time someone came in, they threw him out. They would just manhandle him, throw him out. 5 guys were running the Rumble, and I was like, man, this is awesome. This is a cool strategy. What are they going to do? And then, of course, Cena gets to come in and just eliminate all of them. And then I really feel like CM Punk should have won that year. CM Punk is awesome. He's best in the world. He should have gotten that victory well over Alberto Del Rio. I don't want to discount Mexican JBL going to WrestleMania.
Well,
I'm
once
sorry.
again, that was Hunter not believing in him. Because then remember,
Bo
he had
leading?
the job-
I would have rather seen Bo Dallas win.
Well, remember he had the job.
I forgot about Bo Dallas until just now.
Until Mark Henry
I hope
just
he
killed
returns
him.
tonight.
Where's Rumble?
Worst Rumble for me, I agree wholeheartedly with Stephen Q. 2014 Royal Rumble altogether was just a cluster. One, Roman Reigns should not have broken that record. I'm sorry. I know I can't. I know I'm not on
That poor man.
the reigns of whatever you call it, destruction or
He did nothing to you.
Heavy rains. Heavy rains predicted.
range. I'm not. And again, it's not his fault. It's nothing against him personally. But anyway. Oh, that's good. So, okay, Brandon just showed that we were blue Tista, so when Roman Reigns wears purple, he can be Purple Rain.
All right, I'm sorry. I did that.
Okay, we're going to get back to this. I'm going to throw this out there. If you don't want to mention it, you don't have to. But let's talk about some of the coolest Rumble eliminations ever. My favorite, I've got to say, is the British Bulldog out of the 1996 Rumble when he threw he did the shoulder, threw Shawn Michaels over his back. Michaels catches on, Bulldog spins around, Michaels slid under his legs. Remember that? He kind of pulled the rope and slid up, and he just stood up and clotheslined him out. That was a cool one.
My favorite one is when the Warlord stepped in, raised
then
his arms,
stepped
turned around, and Hogan put him right back out. He was in, what, 2 seconds? That is
I really liked Hurricane's elimination when it was he tried to choke slam both Triple H and Stone Cold, and then they just looked at him and go,
like, who the hell is
and then they
this
just
guy?
threw him out. And then Santino had a really good. Santino always has a great elimination, but Santino had the one where
This is an
he
Battle Royal.
tried to. Oh, just the Battle Royal wasn't the Royal Rumble.
Oh.
Well, it's still worth mentioning.
Speaking of Santino, I'm changing him to my favorite Rumble moment. Him and
It's done. It's
Socko
done.
versus the Cobra.
Oh, yeah.
And then that was a good Rumble. That was the one Sheamus won. I love that
The
Rumble.
sock and snake
I'm pretty
But
connection.
anyway, sorry, I just had to bring that up. 'cause
Maybe that's
I
not the one
just
Sheamus
thought
won.
about
Go.
All right, no, does anybody here have all right, how about this? The funniest elimination I ever saw, and I don't remember which rocker it was. He walked in the ring, he walked across the ring, they threw him over, he got in, and he just kept right on going.
It was the
He never missed a beat.
1991 Rumble. Earthquake
missed a
grabbed him
beat.
and threw him out.
Never missed a beat. Just kept right on going.
It used to be the record until Santino.
I'm going to have to go
Until
mine.
Warlord broke it.
It wasn't a technical to watch kind of elimination, but me and Steve were talking about this when Batista eliminated Shawn Michaels when he was trying to face Undertaker
Yes.
Mania. So many feels were affected that night. I think that was the night when Batista cemented himself as the Mania event killer.
Yep, right.
If Batista's in the Rumble, whatever you hoped was going to happen at the Mania,
It's done.
that's it.
All right, well, let's move on.
It's 6:15 already.
Okay, I know.
You want to watch that pre-show with Tyson Kidd losing to the Tyson and Cesaro losing to New Day?
He's winning. Fact.
Okay, let's. First off, speaking of the pre-shows, I'm kind of tired of seeing all the statistics and numbers. I don't even know the weight. and how many, how many big shows?
20,000 pounds of humanity.
Lazy promo work.
It is.
But
That
they
is
copy
very
and
lazy.
paste it every year, and then they add like 2 more numbers.
That's because
to it.
they have no feuds. Remember, we were talking about they used to have
Oh
feuds.
yeah, you're right.
It used to be like this guy is going in specifically just.
If
to
they do
eliminate
that
the
again
guy.
this year, I'm gonna get mad if they do
Oh,
that.
it's coming. The
Oh,
numbers
no.
are coming. They did it,
No.
I think, on Raw recently.
No, oh
It's
god,
just
no.
lazy promo work and booking.
For $9.99 a month, I want a better promo.
Would you rather pay $60 a month for the main events or go
Change that
$9.99?
part of it.
You know what?
Leave it alone.
Let's get back to the Rumble. We only got 12 minutes before they start showing the statistics. So, number 5. Let's go. Here, Brandon, you haven't started yet. I want to pick spaghetti. So, Brandon, we'll start with you. Expected returns to roster and expected legends to show.
Okay, I just wrote
I'd like to order one.
good and bad.
Okay.
My bad list is the New Age Outlaws. If they jump in it, I'm gonna be mad. Diesel or Kevin Nash. I don't care which persona he decides to come in as. Don't come in. Stay home. I know you need bail money because you got in a fight with your son. That's fine. Stay at home. Another one is Rob Van Dam. Does he only return at the Royal Rumble?
Return Van Dam.
Return Van Dam is what he.
Jericho's
is what
going to be in the Rumble.
Well, Jericho's fine though.
Hey,
Jericho's fine.
We'll come to you.
Jericho's fine.
Well,
Now,
maybe I'll just
under
work
good,
with
I only
this.
have one name listed under good returns, and that's
Scott Hall.
Randy Orton. Not Scott Hall, Randy Orton.
Well, we know Randy's coming back because they dropped the bomb
Yeah.
on the Bridgestone commercial when they're coming for Monday Night Raw at Bridgestone Arena.
They do that a lot because they have to
Nashville, Tennessee.
advertise ahead of time what their main events are going to be before they sell.
All right, let's go ahead.
The question is, what spot's Randy coming back in?
Christian would be a bad return.
Oh,
God! All right,
No.
Steve.
He can't.
Sorry.
He's like Edge now. He can't wrestle.
2 minutes concussion.
He's like Edge now.
Edge is good. He's not like Edge.
His back and stuff is so messed up now. They've told him he
That's
can't.
another
He has an in-ring.
That's another
Sorry,
part.
sorry. I'm gonna step away and make a drink.
All right, so
Made me very upset there.
okay, so I'm going to say for expected returns, of course, Rob Van Dam. That's all he can do nowadays is return at the Rumble. He is also incredibly sloppy in the ring. Can we agree that he has gotten super sloppy?
Oh, Van Dam?
Yes, his spin kicks are so weak looking. He doesn't even get them.
Mr. Flowchart?
It's so low. It's like
Mr. Flowchart. I'm surprised he didn't get hit with a 5 moves to doom a long time ago.
The 5 moves of doom.
Yeah, I think his moves. It's every match is always the same. So
that's
Kick, roll, thunder.
Yeah.
At least they're entertaining moves, most of
They
them.
were entertaining.
But when you've been watching
back
it since
flip,
ECW, you
Now when he
say
does
that.
right, like now, and of course, I mean, I understand everyone gets older and our bodies change and what have you. But anyway, he like this, the one where someone tries to kick him and he grabs their leg and then he
Does the reverse.
spins over it. Now the other person whose leg he's holding has to like bend down, you know, like that they gotta get down this low so the foot will at least swipe by their face. It's awful, but I think Diamond Dallas Page was a big rumor that would be cool to have him
so.
swing in. Jake the Snake Roberts. would be a
Scott
cool
Hall.
one.
I'm calling for Scott Hall.
I'd like to see Scott Hall in it, but I think he's.
But
He probably can't go over the top rope.
He probably can't. Yeah, if you saw him on that
So are
wrong.
we saying what legends are popping up in
And
the Royal Rumble?
and
Possibly The Rock.
I do think Orton's going to come back, and I'm sure. I forgot the other one was. Oh well, it doesn't
You're
matter.
taking all the good picks, man.
Well, you can still jump on. Well, yeah, I said Orton and RVD. You can agree. All right, let's go to Doug.
I want to see the bunny win.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Rumble's in Philadelphia, correct?
Yeah.
That's right.
Then I'm
Hometown,
telling you,
baby.
at least one ECW person is going to be in the Rumble.
ECW
And I
West.
don't want it to be Rob. I'd like to see Sabu or Tommy Dreamer or the
That's right.
Sandman, somebody
something
like
big.
that. Hell, I'd like to see them win, quite frankly.
Wow.
So, I mean, throw a monkey wrench. Everybody thinks it's going to be Reigns or Bryan or somebody else. Throw a monkey wrench. Do something never expected.
Can't wait to buy that WrestleMania. Sandman against Brock Lesnar.
That's it would be nice to see
Let
Ziggler or
the
Ambrose.
bunny win. Let's do something completely off the charts, outrageous, and just shock
Who wants to
everyone.
buy that WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar? The Bunny against Brock Lesnar.
Bunny
Make a
wins.
bet.
Maybe not an ECW guy, but it would be nice if they changed
All right, Jack.
My pick is going to be Sheamus. Say what you will,
Yeah.
but the fella's coming
I
back.
love Sheamus.
And let's see. For what was the other
Legends and Returns.
For Legends and Returns? Let's go with Heath Slater. He's a legend in his own right. And
You don't have an old legend you want from the 80s or 90s?
I'm trying to think who. You know what? Let's go with Road Dogg. I'm fine with Road Dogg coming back. Just for
He's already in the. He's in the tag match.
I know, but
No, I'm sorry, not Road Dogg. One of
Road Warrior. Animal.
Hulk or Animal. I always get them.
Yeah.
Hulk.
All right, let's go to Jack.
You know what? Based on Monday Night Raw's panel, I think you're going to see a unique mixture of Flair, Hogan, and possibly Michaels.
Oh, Michaels. That would be a good one.
Michael's not coming.
Even though he may not
I
be able
love
to do
it.
anything, I'm just,
Make him bloody match.
I just because of the panel.
yeah.
Because it was interesting to see that Hogan and Michaels didn't do nothing, but
Yeah.
Flair went right up to the Big Show and started smacking him around. So I think Flair might get up.
Oh yeah.
possible
Oh yeah.
Royal Rumble.
I don't think
If
so.
Michaels comes in, he better not wear freaking camo and cowboy boots.
As much as I love that, and I would
Hey, come on
love
now.
for another match from Michaels, but Michaels is going on record and saying he wants to maintain the integrity of Undertaker
Retirement,
taking him
yeah.
out.
Right.
Sure.
He said far too often that the WWE goes back on great endings.
I'm not saying he's
Yeah.
going to win it. I think they just might throw
Yeah.
him in for shits and giggles.
He will not throw a move in there. I would love it. I would love it.
Okay.
They might have to just to get ratings up.
Can I make a comment on Michaels? What if Michaels comes in just to eliminate two people so that he can beat Kane's record? Wouldn't that be some shit? Like he really, they did this back and forth
You know
as they
what?
retired. They each would
Here's
eliminate
my
one
prediction
guy.
with that. If Michaels goes in, he eliminates Big Show for the way Big Show talked
Yeah.
shit to him.
That'd be
But they won't do it because they've had their
Steven.
retirement matches. So they're not gonna be like, that was a great retirement match for WrestleMania. Now
Oh, hold on, Flair's been
That
retired
is
3
true.
times. No. Not saying he's gonna, but they do. Flair's been retired. How many times they show up? Hacksaw didn't show
But he's
up.
not wrestling.
No. And Hacksaw wrestled in a Royal Rumble after he retired. A lot
No,
of-
no, but he
didn't have a retirement
match. All right, Steve and Q, we're running low on time, so let's get to Q.
What, returns?
Yep.
I already chimed in with Scott Hall.
Oh.
So we can move
That's
on.
all he
to the
wrote.
next.
Good.
Okay.
I wrote X-Pac
Yeah,
because
well,
it's expected to
Who
be.
wants that?
All right, so let's do. Whenever Douglas gets back.
Well, we got it.
Okay.
Who's going to win? Final
So
pick.
let's go to the final pick. We've said who we want to win. Who is going to win?
Oh, first. I'm fine with Reigns winning only on one condition. Rollins walks out with the belt, and then WWE realizes that Reigns cannot hold a match by himself, so they add Dean Ambrose into the mix, and it's a triple threat match. The Shield at headlines WrestleMania. The three
Why
Shield
wouldn't they just have
members.
Ambrose win then?
Because it's better. This is the Shield. It's the ending to a story. That story has not come to an ending. We still haven't gotten retribution. No one's gotten vindication for the Shield breaking up. This is the only way to have it done is the 3 Shield members face off at WrestleMania, and fuck it, who cares? Just not Roman
The
Reigns.
IWC would lose their shit. I just wanted to put that out there.
I don't even know what you just said. So I'm going to say, I only wrote down who I think is going to win. I just wrote Reigns or Orton.
Wow.
All right, Jack.
Orton would face Brock Lesnar, of course.
You know,
He should have won in that cage match.
I think, like I said, I think Cena's going to win tonight. Reigns is going to try to, Rollins is going to try to cash in. I think Sting's going to interfere. I hate to say it, you may see another Cena-Orton battle.
No, they are not.
Hell
No.
I'm just saying, because I think Randy's going to come in the number 30 spot and be the snake, and it may happen again.
Can we say that they've actually never had a match at Mania? I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm sure they have. They defend.
No, they haven't. Orton's always faced other people.
Yeah.
I've seen Orton's.
Oh, that's what they have.
So, well, we've seen it enough.
But after they zoomed in on a kid holding a sign saying Cena versus Orton number 185, boring or whatever, they're not going to do that. They're not going to go that
You
route.
never know.
Unless they really
I
put
think
on the
that
They
fans
buried
would be-
Cesaro because of that. They'll do it.
The fans would get so pissed off. Q, who do you think is going to win? One pick. We can't all.
I'm flip-flopping here.
Everyone wins. Yeah, they hug it out.
I'm going to say Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
I agree. I'll probably pick your other. In fact, I'll go ahead before you jump in. Unless you want to go ahead. I want to pick everything you're going to pick before you pick it.
I would love Ziggler to win. I think that'd be
I think
awesome.
they'd
I think it'd be a great,
They'd set it up.
top to his career. But it's going to be Roman Reigns or Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
That's what's.
They're the only two that have promos.
You got to
for
pick
the Rumble.
one. You got to
Ziggler
pick
doesn't
one.
even mention.
You got to pick one.
I picked two.
No, you got to pick one.
If we're going
I said
with
Reigns or
one,
Roman.
if we're going with one, I think it's going to be Reigns. As
Okay.
much
You gotta
they
pick
put
one.
into him.
Gotta say,
I
I
would
like
do-
your idea here with the triple threat at WrestleMania.
I'll say Reigns, and that's the only way
We
that
got Reigns,
you get
Reigns,
a payday.
Ziggler. I'm going to say. No, you said
I said
Bryan.
Bryan.
I'm also going to say. You know what? I'm going to say. Shit.
Matt Hardy.
Y'all had a good point about.
Tag teaming in TNA right now.
Cesaro wins.
Who'd you say?
I said the options. I based it on different. You may see another Orton Cena match.
Oh yeah, so Orton.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to.
Steve. You're on the clock.
This is so hard because
We got to watch the Rumble.
I think you're
starting
right.
in 10 minutes. We
I
gotta
think
go.
you're right that it starts in 1 minute. I think about they're gonna eliminate Ryan dirtily. So I work. I'll say I'm gonna say Daniel Bryan. That's my pick.
Can we acknowledge that this was recorded right before the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, the Rumble's going to start in just a moment. We're going to come back for the second part after the Royal Rumble with our reactions. It won't be quite as long of an event, so we'll just combine the two. Thank you
Some of us might not make it there.
Douglas, one pick. Who's going to win?
Roman Reigns.
All right, everyone's
Good
on.
talk.
All right, thank you, and this is everybody signing off.